11, we want the value of 3a plus 3b. So you could go ahead and solve this the typical way. You could do substitution. I generally recommend elimination. So try to cancel out these terms, or at least cancel out the a term, and solve for b, and then solve for a, and plug in. All that's fine. I'm just going to show you a shortcut, and that is when they're looking for something weird, that's usually a signal that there's a shortcut where you can just try adding or subtracting the equations as is and see what happens. And indeed, when I add these straight away, I get 3a plus 3b on the left equaling 36 on the right, and so I'm done. Now, if you did it the longer way, solving for a and b, just make sure you plug in your answers appropriately for a and b into 3a plus 3b. You'll still get 36, but clearly this is a bit faster. So 11 is D. Number 12, we've got a triangle. Angle C is a right angle. The sine of A, I'll call that A, is 3/5. So using SOHCAHTOA, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So I know that's 3, I know that's 5. And so therefore I know either by Pythagorean theorem or Pythagorean triples that this is a 3, 4, 5. Now I want the cosine of B. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the cosine of B will also be 3/5. Now there is a shortcut, which is when you have two angles, in this case A and B, which are complements. In other words, they add up to 90. The sine of one will equal the cosine of the other. So in this case, the sine of A must equal the cosine of B according to that identity. And so therefore, the cosine of B is 3/5. But either way, triangle or identity, you'll get choice A. 13, I want the equation that defines this. You could either plug the points in, maybe plug 2, 6 in, see if that gets you an answer. Or you can find the slope, and I'll just find the slope. So the slope is going to be the change in y over the change in x's. So 6 minus 2 over 2 minus 0. So that's 4 over 2. So I'm getting a slope of 2, and the only choice with the slope of 2 is choice C. 14. The 2017 Wyoming State Senate had 30 elected members consisting of Democrats and Republicans. Let D represent the Democrats who vote yes, R, the Republicans who vote yes. For a bill to pass, more than half of the 30 senators must vote yes. Which of the following represents all possible values of D and R for a vote to pass? So we need the number of votes to be greater than half. And so we know my total number of votes must be greater than 15. Not greater than or equal to 15, because if it's 15, then it's half exactly. It's got to be greater than 15. And it can't be less than, so we can get rid of these. And so at this point, we get A, which makes sense. D is the number of Democrat yes votes. R is the number of Republican yes votes. Combine them together. You want that to be bigger than 15 for the bill to pass. So 14 is A. 15, we're told this has one solution. And whenever you're dealing with a quadratic where what counts or what matters is the number and nature of solutions, the quickest way to do this is to use the discriminant. If this has one solution, what's the value of C? That's when the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, equals 0. That's when it has one solution. So let's plug in our values. So b is -2, a is 1, and c is just c. And so now I have an equation I can solve. 4 minus 4c equals 0. Solve that, we get c equals 1. And indeed, you could also, if you didn't know this, you can plug these in or graph them. When you graph, when c is 1, you'll get a curve that looks something like that. In addition, which by the way has one intercept, one solution, if you were to try to factor this, you would see that this factors into x minus 1 squared, which again yields one solution. So there's a lot of options for this. I think the discriminant is the fastest, so 15 is C.